Good afternoon, Ms. Boyd and Mr. Perez. We appreciate the opportunity to provide our analysis and recommendations for Boyd's Catering. Today, we'll address the challenges the business is currently facing and propose actionable steps to resolve them. So, what happened to Boyd's Magic and why did it lose its spark? Well, a few months ago, Boyd's Catering was a bustling and thriving business celebrated even by the New York Times. It had so much potential, but in today's time, its current decline in sales and employee satisfaction paints a whole different picture. And this is where we come in and figure out what changed. I'm going to pass this on to Ralph.
Hello, Ms. Boyd, Mr. Perez. Before we address the current challenges, let's take a moment to highlight the foundation you've built with Boyd's Gathering. 4 years ago, you launched this business with a focus on gourmet salad, sandwich, and dessert. Catering has been the cornerstone for this company, making up about 75% of the revenue, with the other 25% remaining made from in-store sales. And also, earlier this year, you received an incredible review from the New York Times, which speak of the quality and reputation of your hard work. This strong foundation. This strong foundation make it all more important to address the recent issues and ensure that the business continue to thrive. All right, now I'll pass it on to my colleague, Alex.
Here we have an analysis of the situation. Emily's inexperience and lack of involvement, paired with perceived favoritism and limited oversight from Miss Boyd, have created frustration among employees and damaged team morale. Addressing these issues is critical for resolving a healthy workplace culture. Miss Boyd's oversight. Limited involvement leads to unchecked issues. Favoritism towards Emily erodes trust and morale. The major problem: we have a leadership disconnect. Lack of experienced leadership because Emily is not fit for the role. Declining employee morale. Drop in service quality and productivity. There's a drop in service quality and productivity. So the primary issue here is the disconnect in leadership, and Emily is just not fit for the role. Now I'll be passing it on to Claire.
All right, thank you, Alex. Alex just identified mainly that the major problem at hand is that Emily is really not fit for the role. So I'll be going on to identify some of the minor problems. Starting out with that Tracy ultimately deserved the job that Emily got. Tracy had been working for Boyd's Catering for about 2 years, and everyone thought that she was up for a promotion. She was going to be named as manager because she was kind of Miss Boyd's right hand man, so to speak. And she really tied things together. People really respected her, and they always did what she said. So when Emily was promoted for the job, it was really upsetting to Tracy, and then they butted heads so much that Tracy ultimately quit and found another job, which left a huge hole at Boyd's Catering. Also, Emily is making almost twice as much as the other workers. Emily is making about $23 an hour. Emily has graduated with a degree in archaeology, so that doesn't really make sense for her to be working in a food or restaurant type business, much less so that she would be making twice as much as the other employees, such as Antonio, who have stated that they're really only making about $10 to $15 an hour, which she also doesn't do as much work as them, so that's very frustrating for them. This is why that workers are starting to slack off. Workers like Antonio have stated that they're not wearing the same shirts that they were wearing as before. They would wear white shirts and they really cared about their appearance at work, and they would never leave without cleaning or sweeping. And now they don't do so because they know that no one is going to stop them and no one really cares. So they're starting to slack off in their work as well. So our first recommendation is to maintain a presence. We would recommend that Ms. Boyd return to the store full time and at least until the sales increase and the revenue to where they were before. And this will ultimately ensure that Ms. Boyd is made aware of all customer complaints. Antonio stated that a few regulars even have been complaining about the quality of the food they're getting, as well as timeliness and, even quality of the store to Emily. And everyone's pretty positive that Emily hasn't told Ms. Boyd any of these complaints. So if Ms. Boyd's there, then obviously she would be able to hear this firsthand from the customers. This would re-strengthen Ms. Boyd's bond with the staff. Ms. Boyd really cares about her staff, and they really cared about her too, especially what she thinks of them. So they've stated before that they were aware of everything going on in Ms. Boyd's life, and Ms. Boyd was aware of everything that went on in their lives, and they felt that they could go to her about anything, and now they can't tell her whether or not Emily is a good fit for the job. And this would ultimately be able to make the employees work harder. They wanted to work harder for Ms. Boyd, they wanted to work harder for Tracy, but because they don't really care about Emily, that's not really a problem anymore. So this will ultimately make it a lot better for the workplace. And I will be turning it over to Jean-Paul.
All right, so thank you so much, Claire. So starting out with returning to the workplace, our second recommendation is to begin deploying strategies that are going to help them return to that previous success they saw in the past. So our second recommendation is going to be to implement the collaborating conflict management style. So this is a style that was developed by the Thomas Kilmann model that rates high in assertiveness and also cooperation. It is best to use this style when the situation is important to all parties, as it is to you two and the rest of your staff. And then you also have needs that really can't be compromised on. So both parties have distinct priorities in this situation, and using this strategy is going to help to cooperate and find some kind of common solution that not only satisfy your needs, but also satisfy your employees' needs. So then moving on to the third recommendation we have for you is to go ahead and start deploying different strategies that you'll be able to cultivate the conditions that are essential for team success. So starting out with communication to any business is key. It seems that the lack of communication here has been the root cause of a lot of your issues you've been having. So this is inclusive of you guys being able to provide clear instructions on how you run your business and your goals, but also allowing your employees to provide you 360-degree feedback so that you guys can improve how you run your business and how you manage them. So that two-way communication is going to be super essential to returning to that form of success. The second thing we have to recommend to you guys is to inspire your employees. Go out, discover what their interests are and where they want to go in their career. That'll be essential to getting them back on track and returning you to that form of success. And then understand what your employees want. Understand what their goals are in their career, what they want to take away from this experience. And then that'll also lead you into, leading by example, showing them what your standard is, kind of resetting that standard you once had. And those four things are going to help you guys get back to where you want to be. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and pass over to Alex.
Here we have our expected outcomes. So if we implement these recommendations, we can see some positive changes ahead, such as improved employee morale and teamwork, enhanced customer satisfaction and retention, and increased sales and profitability. Again, with these changes, we expect Boyd's Catering to thrive again. Happier employees will lead to better service for customers, which will help increase sales and profits. I will now be passing it back over to Ralph.
All right. With that being said, let's bring back the board brilliance, by acting on leadership and development and employee engagement. Let's rebuild Boyd's reputation for excellence as it used to be by implementing our recommendations, such as maintain a presence, use a collaboration conflict management style, cultivate conditions for team success. Because when we make these changes with these recommendations, it will see a major positive changes with the company. Now pass it over to Akira.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Well, Boyd's Catering has the potential to thrive once more. By addressing these challenges head on, we can ensure its continued success in the future. Ms. Boyd and Mr. Perez, we thank you for coming out and listening to our presentation, and we are open to any of your questions and concerns we have for us. Thank you.